What was
Are we
that you
on
were
air?
doing? Hello, everyone. Hi,
Hi,
it's
everybody.
Whimsy, and of course, Chuck Dransfield.
Yeah.
Happy Taco
Happy
Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesday.
Please take a seat. Grab a taco, a margarita. If
Oh,
what do you got, Chuck? What are you drinking?
well, actually, it's blueberry soda. I'd like to say it's something stronger in my cup. What are you drinking?
Oh God. Well, my allergies have been acting up, as everybody knows, and so you name it, I'm doing it. I took some Allegra, I took some Nyquil. Who needs drugs when you're doing Allegra and Nyquil? Woo!
You must
And
be flying like a
I
kite.
did pretty darn good. And I also got some of my herbal tea, which I made from my own herb garden and my own stuff, but it's
Yeah.
mullein. This is a
Yeah.
mullein-based
Oh,
tea.
mullein is very good for.
Mullein and mint.
Yeah. You
Yes.
were one of the people who taught me that when you were training me to be your NDA.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so I put some honey in it, so that's nice. And I've got some water as well. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. How about
Yeah.
you? How was your week?
Uh, Doing pretty good, pretty good. I just spent my Labor Day actually doing labor. I made some phone calls to some of your clients.
Oh, that
You
must have
got a lot of nice people out there, and it's
there
really good to hear the
are.
support and people sending love to both of us, and yeah, it just made me feel good. So that was my day yesterday, and then I'm also working on a project. Debbie, our
Oh
director, is having
yes.
me do
Got you
um,
busy.
sort of a semi-documentary. It's going to be in segments where I'm showing how I do this portrait of Judy Garland.
Oh, I'm so
So,
excited.
well, it's a
I love
lot
that.
of video
I love
because,
that. Yes, but I'm so excited because
yeah,
you only have so many hours in the day, and I've
yeah.
always wanted to be an artist, but I've given my heart to the violin, as you
Well,
know.
you are an artist. Your violin is your art. You just played for me a few minutes ago. You're
Yeah.
doing so well. You're going to be damn good in just a few months. You're going to be at Carnegie Hall.
I'm working at it.
Yeah,
And of course, we're going to be talking about some of the art that you're showing us today as
yeah.
well. But before we get started, it would be great if everybody could like and subscribe and share before taking a seat for Taco Tuesdays. Also, if you would love to support our channel, we love memberships, super chats. Also, check out the awesome merch by our very own Debbie Brady. So,
Yeah.
so let's talk hot topics. Are you ready?
Okay. Oh, I'm ready.
Ready to go straight into it? I
Where
mean,
do we start?
well, I mean, we can turn around and we can say hi to people and get people's opinions. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
just.
the first thing we have to talk about is we have to talk about the latest with the special counsel. Do
Oh,
people
yeah.
know
Jack
about
Smith.
it? Well, I mean, it's something that's definitely coming up. CNN is talking about it. It looks like special counsel is focusing on the people outside of Trump's circle. So it kind of goes back, doesn't it, to the Mueller report, doesn't it? In the sense,
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
It sure does.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah.
Say
Well,
something.
is it on the
Yeah,
video?
please go ahead. I said, oh, can you see?
Yes, I can see it right now. It's up. But I don't know a whole lot about this. But Whimsy, do you think that this is an investigation into campaign funds being used for Trump's legal defense?
It goes back to the remote views where Mueller was following the money, but they said, don't follow the money. But he really was following the money. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. But he
Oh, yeah.
couldn't say that, right? So he just passed everything along to NYPD and to various different other investigations. And I think everything is following the trajectory that we thought it was, which I think is kind of interesting. So it also goes back to the prediction that Trump is not the focus of the investigation. The money is the focus.
Mm-hmm. And who knows what that's going to lead to? That is probably going to be a Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
Might even be something for you to do a blitz on later today.
Well, how many people do you think currently that are in Congress? We'll just throw that out to the audience and maybe Chuck can start to greet people. But let's talk
Yeah.
about it, folks. Do you think there are more people that are compromised? Where's the money going to who owns the money? Let's talk about that. And
Yeah.
who do you think is compromised?
Wow. I can't even begin to speculate. It's just it's unbelievable as this is unfolding, and it's just the story is just getting bigger and bigger. This could be one of the biggest scandals in American history, ultimately. Joel Tilson just said, I love hearing that he can't use the proceeds from the mugshot sales because the photo is copyright. To that, I say yes.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And yeah, it seems a lot more are going to be compromised in this. Um, I'm just reading some of the comments here. Greetings, Whimsy and Chuck from Pam. Lots of sweet people out there. We have marvelous, marvelous viewers.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you also heard Afani Willis. All 19 co-defendants pled not guilty.
I did hear that. That took some audacity. We'll see where that's going to go once the trial commences.
Well, do you think it's going to go to trial, or do you think they are going to change their plea for a lesser sentence if they tell her more? Like, do you think that's going to happen or not?
I can't see Trump ever doing that. I don't know about the others, but I could never see Trump ever admitting any kind of guilt. Ever. That's just my thought on it. I don't know. How do you feel?
I mean, it's a sickness, right? I mean, to have these types of personality disorders, it's all you have to hold on to. And if you lose it and you have to believe that you are a loser, I think that that's very, very devastating for people. And I think that that is the sad, they will destroy everyone and everything rather than admit to the truth that they have done this thing. That, you know, it's look at George Santos. It looks like George Santos also is going to be pleading guilty.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, to some campaign finance stuff.
This is just huge, huge. It's even tying in with things that you've said in your past remote viewings about. You just see the Republican Party just collapsing.
Yeah, they don't really have much of a platform other than destroying women's health care.
Yeah, that's their. You're right. That seems to be their big platform. But it just seems that all of this corruption is rising to the surface. It's like what Trump said about draining the swamp. Well, ironically, it's his own swamp that's getting drained right now. It's pretty what we're seeing coming up from the waters. But I just, I just thought that was profound when that came up in one of your readings just a few weeks ago. We were on the air together. You made that statement. I'm just, watch this. It's going to be a big story. Televised.
Yeah, the other thing that people are talking about that's in the news that has to do with some of the remote views that we've talked about, we've gone into the energy of Putin and why it's so important for people to be able to see the energy of your enemy before they do something. And what Putin had said to us in the remote is that the West is closed. I must go to my allies in the East. And so whoever this guy is, supposedly he's Kim Jong-un 2.0. This guy.
Yeah. I just see faces.
He's now 5'10". Look at that. Look at the height. He gained 2 inches. Either that or he's wearing platforms.
But to me, there's something creepy about that photo.
Well, his face keeps changing. That's what's creepy about it. But,
two desperate men.
Yeah. So, that's the conversation, right? It was exactly what he said he was going to do. Is like, I'm getting nowhere in the West. I got to go to the East.
Yeah. But to me, that's just desperation. He's pulling at straws right now, strings. What can we say? I don't know if you have any other thoughts about that.
Well, we'll just have to see. I think it would be kind of cool if we did the Empaz prayer. Maybe change the energy. Maybe you could field a couple questions after that, and then maybe we'll talk about some art. Does that sound cool?
Something here I want to bring up just real quick. Let's see. Jan says many people saying lockdowns for COVID, and all hell could be breaking loose again. with COVID, but we'll address that.
Something's in my lungs that is really bad, and I think it's partly an infection. So, I mean,
That occurred to me. You
Yeah.
trained me to be your NDA, and my first thought was bacterial infection, bronchitis.
Oh, you think it's bacterial? Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
You know what? I can't say that with any certainty, but that's just the hunch I'm getting. You might want to do that.
Well, that's possible because I got a lot of dust in my lungs. So
Yeah, I just sense bacterial. I'm sensing some bronchitis is going on from your cough, but that's just a hunch.
Well, this
But anyway,
is antibiotic, antimicrobial.
yeah.
Well, did you want to read any more comments, or do you want to
do let's see. We have a comment here. Will the feds? I'm trying to read this here. Abbott now over National Guardsmen sent man across the Rio Grande. Will the feds? Governor Abbott, that's right, of Texas.
Oh wow!
Now over National Guardsmen sent a man across the Rio Grande. I don't know about that story. Maybe you know. And then someone mentioned Proud Boys Enrique Tarrio getting 22 years in prison.
Yes,
for
I heard about that.
So those are some of the comments, but I should let you do the impasse prayer.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of nice. We can get some nice energy. And then I have never seen a painting like that before in my life that you have painted. So I want to talk about that. And we're going to talk also about the book club, a bunch of stuff. If you're just joining us, it would be great if you could like, subscribe, become a member.
Yes, please.
All that stuff is great. Well, let's do the empath prayer, and then we will talk about the rest of the show. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels, excuse me, to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen.
Amen.
Add up.
Get yourself a sip of tea, darling.
Oh, my God.
Are you okay?
Pass eventually. Yeah, it'll pass eventually.
Yeah. Didn't you say there are fires where you are in Portland?
Fire and some stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the worst bouts of bronchitis I ever had in my life here in LA many years ago. We had some really bad fires. We were having a 110-degree heat wave. I was going in and out of air conditioning, back and forth between heat and cold. I probably had bronchitis for 2 months. I was coughing just like you. I certainly don't want you to go through that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting better, actually.
Good. I'm glad to hear. We all want better.
Believe it or not, it's gotten a lot better. I want to announce that Stumbling Towards Grace by Rosalia Scalia. She is the author of our, I think I can fix this, actually. Let me try. Did it work?
Let me see here. I'm just seeing a little tiny postage stamp image of you, but it looks like
maybe not.
No, I think I can't tell.
Anyway,
I'm trying to see because the picture is so small. I think it's reversed. I think it was right the first time.
Oh, really?
Tell us.
Was it reversed? Was it right the last time?
Best I can tell, I honestly.
Oh, it was. Okay.
My picture. Oh, yes, it was right. In case people wonder why, I don't know. It's just I'm looking at a little tiny picture of Whimsy on my laptop right now, so it's hard for me to read it. But that's perfect. Right. Perfect.
Stumbling Towards Grace. It's about fractured relationships. You know how relationships can be affected when there's a traumatic incident, like maybe something that the whole family is affected by, how it can impact the entire family.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this very much. I haven't gotten my own copy yet. It's being sent to me. But as soon as you told me about it and about it being about forgiveness, I can immediately think of a few people that book would be of great assistance to me for, especially my late mother. That's a whole other story to itself, but the book sounds sensational. Oh, Mila. Hi, Mila.
My second allergy.
Babysit Mila.
She's shedding right now.
When Whimsy lived here in LA and she had to go on a trip, I would be her cat sitter. I love Mila. Hi.
Yeah.
She loves you too.
So I see you have a painting behind you.
Well,
Another painting. And
yes,
it's
I
like nothing
do.
I've ever seen you do before.
Well, this is actually I'm trying to hold this right here because the camera keeps reversing it, but it's Muhammad Ali. It's a watercolor and color pencil drawing that I did a while back. I was motivated to do this about 25 years ago. I met Muhammad. He was with his beautiful daughter. Shame to say I can't recall her name, but she's a.
Can you pull back a little bit because it's kind of giving an echo? Just a little back on your because your microphone had just echoed a little bit. Yeah, just go ahead.
Is the sound better now?
Oh, much better. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to hold this in the camera frame. I met Muhammad Ali. I think it was roughly the late 1990s, early 2000s. He was with his beautiful daughter, and Muhammad Ali at that point was a very frail man. He was deep into the stages of Parkinson's. He was very frail. He was shaking. He was trembling. He didn't say much, but it was just such an honor to meet him. And then I watched him walk. It was in a store in West Hollywood. I watched him walk outside into the parking lot. And I meet lots of celebrities living here in Los Angeles. It's a very common thing, but I've never in my life seen so much love and so much adoration for any one celebrity. It was like the Pied Piper. Once people saw he was in the parking lot, everybody just started walking to him, very respectfully. But men and women were walking up to him, approaching him, people wanting to hug him, shake his hand. I saw men with tears running down their faces, women with their crying. I've just never seen that kind of love for someone before. And I was thinking about that, and I did this portrait because I wanted to put it on Facebook on his birthday, which was in June. And so I thought, this is something I'll show today, something that I've done. So that's.
Wow, I'm blown away by actually, if you could bring it back, I'm sorry.
Of course, I'm sorry.
The lighting. I'm blown away by the lighting. Like you got the sweat of the fight, man.
Well, that's what I was aiming for. I was aiming to capture him in all of his pride and glory and his fighting mode. I wanted to capture the champion that he was. And thank you. I hope I succeeded.
You did. Now, if people would like to purchase this, is it for sale?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
so Chuck Dransfield, as you know, is a professional artist and actor, and he's being represented by Debbie Brady Management.
Oh, wonderful, Debbie. Yes.
So if you would like to have him commission a painting, he is also a medium, so he does channel and communicate with the people he paints.
I do.
If you need to do that kind of work, reach out to Debbie Brady to have him commissioned for a painting.
I love doing portraits. It's my favorite thing.
I have one more quick question before we move on to the next segment. When you painted Muhammad Ali, did he communicate with you? And if so, what did he say?
I did. All I could just feel was great dignity. I didn't. I have to admit, I was not trying to get a message from him. But it's very hard for me to do a portrait, especially when I'm doing the eyes, because the eyes.
Right.
I know it's a cliche, but they are the window to the soul. So I just feel it right here. I just felt like.
That always
happens. Poise.
You know what I've noticed about you, Chuck? You know what I've noticed?
What?
You as a medium.
Yeah.
You connect with the target. Here's what I feel. You connect with the target, and then you pull their eyes out of the paper. It's like you remote view. You look at the paper. You go into trance. You try to connect your eyes to their eyes. You lock on them into the trance state, and then from that, they come forth into the page. Isn't that what you're doing?
Something, when I do a portrait like this is like 12 to 20 hours. So I'm very much, I don't know if trance is the word for it, but maybe it is, but I'm very, very connected to the subject. And I'm very much in their energy field. And I would say that's true, especially when it comes to the eyes, because I said to you, I consider eyes non negotiable. If I don't get the eyes right, I will throw the whole drawing out and start over again. You've got to get the eyes right. That's where all the personality is, that's where the soul is. But you were asking me what I was picking up from him. Oddly, this is an odd word to use for a man, especially a very masculine athlete, but I was getting poise, dignity, poise, very proud. That's how I would sum up what I was getting from Muhammad Ali. Maybe sometime I should try to contact him, like you had me contact Olivia Newton-John an hour before a show. Maybe I should sit down and see if he has a message. Maybe next week I'll have a message for you.
Well, I feel like, we find God through our path. And for him, the path was Islam, right? And he
Yeah,
was such a Sufi. He was such a Muslim mystic. He was a true Sufi. He was peace. And I mean, when you think about the Sufi Islamic tradition, you want to be in the vibration of peace and love.
yeah,
That is what you're trying to get to as a Muslim. And I think he achieved it.
I think you
Just
do.
because the story you say of like everybody wanted to be around that vibration.
Exactly. I have never, and I've seen probably hundreds of celebrities in the 38 years I've lived in Los Angeles. I have never witnessed that kind of reverence for someone. It was so sincere. It was so heartfelt. When you see men crying,
Yes.
women and men crying and dabbing their eyes and just wanting to tell him how much they loved him. And I watched him. He was so humble. He was so
Yeah.
humble in the parking lot, and I could also see that his daughter just she just idolized her father.
Yes, I bet
He,
she
he was
did.
a hero. Yeah, that was very apparent to me. So I
And,
never
and
got
but
that.
she's also a fighter, isn't she? Also a boxer?
Yes, she is. She is. That's why I said I'm embarrassed. I can't think of her name, but maybe one of our viewers could recall. I know he had two daughters, but what I remember, she was very tall. I'm 6'2", and she was almost my height, and she was so regal, just like her father, very proud, dignified,
Wow.
regal. Yeah, yeah, they both made an impression on me.
Well,
Beautiful people.
I really appreciate you painting it and sharing it with us today.
Well,
Thank you.
appreciate your beautiful words, Whimsy. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And
Honor-
again, if you'd like to purchase any of the paintings, please check out Dransfield.com to find out more about his work and mediumship. And if you'd like to purchase any of his paintings, please contact his talent manager,
Yeah,
Jennifer Beatty.
and we can get you all the information you want. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, so we're switching gears here a
Yeah,
little
switch
shot.
gears.
Okay, are you ready to switch gears? Is everybody ready for a new hat? Okay, let's just take a poll. Who here believes in aliens? Let's just take a poll. Now, some of you say no, I don't. It's okay if there's no right or wrong. I mean, well, maybe there is ultimately, but let's just see the audience. Who believes that there are alien beings on Earth that are floating around? I mean, or is it just a fake made up story? I mean, I would like to know just generally what people think. And who do you think these aliens are? Do you think that they come from another galaxy? Do you think that they are are they us? That's one of the questions, but let's talk about it. Yes, you were going to say something, Chuck.
Oh no, I didn't mean to interrupt you, and I saw that you brought up the video. You were telling me about this earlier before the show, and I just find it fascinating. But I should let you talk because you're the anthropologist.
Well, I just thought that it would be fun for people to take a look at. You might not be able to see this so well, but this is the human family tree. And you can see that it has several branches. And as anthropologists, we always thought that human beings and their cousins went extinct, right?
Right.
And so you have over here, you have these these Australopithecus, some of them are vegetarian, by the way. They're just like tree nut eaters, happily going along. They go extinct. They go up in the trees. They get eaten by leopards. We think that the leopards ate them for breakfast, right? So they go extinct. We've got some interesting things over here. They get eaten by the leopards. Here we got some other interesting things. These are like hobbit creatures. We thought that they completely died out. Now we're finding bodies in island populations where they had less predation, where they may have survived much longer than we had previously thought. And then down here, you can see Homo habilis up on the top here. These top ones are the more evolved. But what's interesting about Homo habilis is that they run into the caves. And so you have some cave dwellers that are trying to avoid getting eaten. And so one of the theories is that while humans on the top of the food chain, on the very top there, while they're off, learning to evolve hunting and killing technology, they chose to confront the lion, right? They chose to confront the leopard.
Yeah.
Everybody else either gets eaten by the leopard or runs from the leopard. So the theory is, what if they did not go extinct? They simply developed more advanced cloaking technology. And so that's why you may be seeing occasional sightings of creatures that are in small populations of, say, Australopithecus robustus or afarensis. And that may be an explanation for some of the sightings of, say, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And just to open the discussion, what do people think about that? Do they think that that's a legitimate explanation? Do they think it's unrelated? Is it possible that some of these family trees, some of this lineage did survive and they're just hiding?
Yeah. We're certainly getting a number of people here just agreeing that there is definitely alien life form. Perhaps people have theories about what Whimsy just said. I mean, this to me is highly intriguing. I certainly want to know more about it.
Well, here's a theory. Here's one of the theories is that, say you had somebody like Homo habilis, which is up on the top of the tree there. They're only about 3 foot tall, which is the same size as a gray, by the way.
Yeah.
What we now call Homo glaucus.
Yeah.
Homo habilis is 3 feet tall. It runs into the cave and it learns how to cloak. This is one of the theories, right?
Yeah.
So if it were to make contact or become a hybrid, is it possible that these beings may be aliens or who knows who?
Yeah.
They were around for a while. This is right before Homo erectus, and they were the right size to become. In plain words, the theory is that genetic testing with aliens, etc., could have been going on for hundreds of thousands of years.
Right. Weren't the original Homo sapiens rather short people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not impossible. They could have been not that much larger. It's also intriguing. Last week you mentioned creatures like this that were 7 feet tall. So you've got the 3 feet, you've got the 7 feet. What do you make of that?
Well, excuse me. Well, this is something that is starting to come out now with people like Chaos Mughal, who is a filmmaker and film editor. I think he's out of Hollywood, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He took the film footage that came out of the Las Vegas that people weren't sure if these people had really seen aliens, and he enhanced it. And so this is what I apologize for that.
He literally just said, "Oh my God, it has giant eyes and a big mouth."
Now this video is enhanced, so you're going to be able to see more because they've increased the contrast. So what you're going to see, I'll go ahead and bring this up closer, is you're going to see what the remote view was. Let me see if I can go into this. But there are 3 beings inside. There are 3 beings inside the And it goes back to the remote. Now, if you look inside the tractor, you'll see two lights, the shorter being and a taller being. And this shorter being, when we remote viewed, was the scientist. This is a female scientist. She's holding what we think is some type of a motherboard. And the guy tall next to her, we called him Joe, we called her Lucy. In the back is a third guy. He's the gunner. Now, what we were able to get the information from this, they're nonviolent. They don't want to hurt anybody. She's a research scientist. They had lost their cloaking. When they had re-entered they had come back in on a reconnaissance mission, according to the remote, and they had lost their cloaking and they'd gotten shot down by a U.S. defense, according to the remote. So their pod landed in these people's backyard, and the two lights you're seeing here are their eyes, the smaller female and then the taller male. So basically she grabbed the motherboard. He had to go up on the roof to try and get the connection before they could get out of there.
Yeah.
But if people want to see more, we can show you what they actually look
I'll
like.
actually highlight it in the processed video.
So now we're going to go into the processed video.
Sorry, I've also enhanced some images from these stills so that you can get a better look at what we're seeing here.
Okay, so now you can see more of her face. She's wearing goggles, which are causing this glow. The glow is from Lucy's goggles. And to the left, you can see he's wearing goggles also. They're talking. She's trying to get online. She can't get online. And so he has to go onto the roof. Now, what you also see in the enhanced video.
Circled is the creature in the tractor. And now I'm going to highlight the one right behind him. Look at this. Look at its big eyes.
This is the gunner.
Oh, wow. I see. Oh.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Basically, they're nonviolent. They may have, alien life may have been here 100,000 years ago. And these beings may be cousins of ours, because when people make contact with them, they say, no, we are your cousins. We're related to you. And it could be that they've been doing genetic experiments as far back as the cave dwellers of 1 million years ago. What do you think, Chuck?
Well, my first thought, do you think this is a higher intelligence?
It's real. They're not faking it. Nobody's faking it. This wasn't even released by the family. This is a professional filmmaker who's... Right. He just came in because he was asked to go in, and people said, take a look at it as a professional filmmaker. So when he went in and he started enhancing things, he came back and said it was real. The other thing that, I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, and you feel there's just no chance of any digital manipulation, any CGI. Has that been ruled out?
No,
this is pure footage.
That's why this guy who's a professional went through it. The other thing I want people to look at is above where Lucy and Joe are, you can see the outline of holographic images. It looks like three spooky creatures. But what those are is that's a holograph that she's put up using her motherboard. They're trying to scare the people off using a non-violent deterrent. If they're going to shoot at something, they want them to shoot at the gargoyle up there on the top roof there. You see that monster thing that's happening?
Yeah.
That is a holograph that she has put up using her motherboard. There she is again. You see her now?
I do. I'm just looking at some of our comments here. They
just want to get out of there. They just want to go home. They're putting up the holograph. They don't want to be shot at. They're just trying to get out of there.
They sound like benign creatures. Just when you mentioned that they're vegetarian, it's like they don't want to hurt any other living beings. But it was just a comment here I was reading. At least 5 civilizations have risen and fallen on Earth since she began her journey. Only Lemuria and Atlantis have remnants, and the rest are long buried. We can only know them via gifted psychics. Another person mentioned some Egyptians had oblong heads, long arms and hands.
Interesting.
I'm just looking what else here. John said they can manipulate our sensories, our consciousness. Only trained people, such as psychics or metaphysical people, can figure it out.
Mm.
Things being brought up right now. Seeing what else. That's
Well, we could do some blitzes on it, or we can do blitzes on something else. But
oh,
people had asked me for months, show it to us, show it, doctor, show it, show it, show
yeah.
it. They knew that the film footage had been enhanced, and so I thought,
Yeah.
gosh darn it, let's go ahead and just talk people through it. But is that not benign? The fact that they would do everything in their power not to hurt the humans,
I
including.
find that when you told me that, we had a discussion before the show about this, and that just hit me that these are friendly, loving creatures, very
Yeah,
benign. Don't want to hurt another living being. That was the
no,
first.
they just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, I
It
think
was so
that's
fun,
it.
it was so fun as a remote viewer when Joe had to get on the roof because they had lost their connection and they were trying to get out of there because they had gotten damaged when they got shot down. But the lady was screaming, "Oh, Jesus, Jesus!" She was crying, and they're praying to Jesus, and they'd put up the fake monsters, up those fake gargoyles to scare them off, to get them away from the equipment. Because don't touch our equipment, don't touch us, don't touch our equipment,
Yeah.
right?
Let me ask you. You say they want to leave. Where do they want to go?
Back to base.
Back to base, and where would the
They
base?
have like bases, I guess, inside mountains and things.
Yeah,
Where
but
they can
still
go
here.
undetected.
But you're still here on the planet Earth.
Mhm.
Their base. Yeah.
Yeah, they were returning from here. I mean,
Oh, here's a.
in the remote, they had gone on a reconnaissance mission. They were returning back to base, which was it was inside of a mountain or something, and then they had lost their cloaking, and then they had gotten shot down.
This is an interesting comment from Yolanda. In the Andes in Peru, elongated heads of skeletons have also been discovered.
What? What?
Yes, that's from Yolanda.
Huh? How interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. John's asking if this is happening, why? Why would aliens want to contact us globally when we as a species are killing each other? Makes total sense. Another comment there. I think you've got some material here for at least one blitz.
Well, why don't we go in and why don't you go ahead and ask if they're benign? Let's go ahead and ask that. If they're gentle, if they're good.
Are these creatures benign? These creatures benign. I'm getting the ones we're specifically talking about. Yes, they are. Now that may not be all the creatures, but these, yes, I'm getting a yes, they're benign. What are you picking up on?
No, I think it's exactly, I mean, what was crazy when I remote viewed them, which is why I think that if aliens were doing genetic experimentation, they must have been using early hominids that are related to us because their human nature is so pronounced. I mean, it's like when I was Joe up on the roof, I just didn't want to be shot. I was a gentle person. I'm just trying to get the scientists back to base. That was my job. I was the lead pilot. I just, get me out of here. Don't shoot me, lady. I'll be out of here before you know it, I'll be gone. And they were too. They ran back. They ran into the house. They prayed to Jesus. And when they heard a scream, because I guess somebody else, some other neighbor came to look. Probably Lucy was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm an alien. I just want to get out of here, get back to base, get to my strawberries." they like, they can eat vegan food, but
Yeah.
So that was it. But so they're here to judge, to observe. They want to keep us from blowing ourselves up. They are heartbroken by what we're doing. They're judging and they are heartbroken. They are confused and trying to understand why we're doing the things we're doing. They feel trapped and frustrated by our actions because they can't intervene.
Oh, they sound like loving creatures.
Yeah, it's almost like they're monitoring Earth, they're monitoring our core, they're monitoring how we're destroying the planet, and they feel to some extent restricted in terms of what they can do about it.
Yeah. Well, look who just jumped up. Sasha.
Hi, Sasha.
I have to keep her from knocking over my lights on my laptop. She was doing the show. John made a comment here. Black Knight satellite's been monitoring us for 12 years plus. Why? I'm not familiar with the Black Knight's satellite. Are you, Whimsy? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. I'm just reading here. And let's see, Dan was saying it's hard living with weird body electronics, forget touch streams. I walk past a remote and the friggin' TV turns on. It's annoying AF, as you know what, but validates my sense of being here on purpose. Let's see, John was saying their home as all researchers, soldiers, when it's done. It's like the researchers and the creatures, researchers, soldiers. And they want to leave once, I guess, when they feel they've completed their mission. Do you feel like they could leave if they wanted, but they feel like they still have to fulfill their mission here? Or
Joel Reynolds is a remote viewer. He's also a benefactor, and we've done a lot of remotes on this, but he got that Lucy was like a dignitary, that this is a very important person. The small, and both of us got that she was completely nonviolent. Like she was just trying to do my job. It's like, what am I going to, I'm not trained in weapons. I may be a creature, but it's like, what am I going to do? Throw my pen at you? I mean, like she was just a scientist. I just need to get home. Right. So it was really a feeling like she was really important. We need to get this person back in one piece, and that they had come from some important meeting. That was really the feeling in the ship. And then, oh my God, we've lost a panel. Oh my God, our cloaking device is malfunctioning. Oh my God, we've been shot down. We need to evacuate. I mean, yeah, most humans would have collapsed from that kind of stress.
I think so. Yeah, it would take a superior being to be able to handle that. I have another comment. Oh, Whimsy, you have to remote view the Black Knight, the satellite. I don't know what would we specifically ask about that?
Looks like it's security related.
Yeah.
Territory, right? Queen of Wands is all about territory.
Yeah.
Security.
Security. Do you see it being anything else, like anything invasive, like our private?
It's just a security thing.
Okay. And nothing more than that, just general security.
Security and territory. She's the queen that determines your territory. Like my space, right? So she wants to make sure nothing comes in to her space. So that's the first thing. Security of the space. Truth, yeah. Right? So they also collecting information.
Collecting information, data. Yeah, I wonder about some of these satellites when they are so precise. They can zero in and read numbers on a license plate from hundreds of miles up in the sky. It's just incredible. It's like we can't have any secrets anymore. Everything is being watched right now. It's forcing us to be truthful, impeccably truthful.
Yeah, and do you think that's a good thing, bad thing, or do you think it's?
I think it's a mixed bag. It's a little bit of everything, but I like to think ultimately it's a good thing. I always believe the truth. The truth is the highest power there is. I think that anything that moves us towards truth has to ultimately be good, but I could also see a lot of chaos, a lot of cacophony along the way, a lot of people getting freaked out. You know, I don't know if many people can handle it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we would prevail and adapt to it.
Well, you look at how people reacted when they saw Homo glaucus. They were like, "Ah, Jesus!" They immediately assumed that they were dangerous.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be, and they went and got guns too. So human response is always to freak out and get weapons.
Exactly, and I guess a lot of that's just conditioning from all of those space movies from the 1950s, the flying saucers, the green men. But we also have things like E.T. the extraterrestrial that showed a creature like this, very loving, very benign, very warm. And of course, my one-time acting teacher was Dee Wallace, who played the mother in that movie. She always had wonderful stories about the making of the film and how much love there was on the set while they were doing it. I'm surprised that didn't change a lot of minds. Like it didn't occur to them these could be friendly creatures like that.
Well, I think that things are changing. Excuse me. I think that things are changing. I think that, is this it? It's like the Pentagon has changed its ways. What do you think about this article?
Well, let's see. I can't read it on my little screen here. Can you tell me what it says, please?
Sure. Okay. Pentagon unveils new UFO website that will be a one-stop shop for declassified information.
Whoa, one-stop shop.
Yeah, what
That's
do
a
you think
little
about that
creepy.
one?
That is creepy. I don't get a good feeling about that. There's a,
Elaborate, because I think I'm right there with you. Can you why do you have a weird feeling about this?
it just when it involves the government and prying into our secrets and spying on us, I guess it's just natural to have a certain feeling of paranoia and like, oh, I don't know if I like that. I mean, what are they going to do with this information? How
Right,
are they going to use that information potentially against us, for us, or against us? That's what comes to mind.
right, and the other big conversation is they are the ones unveiling the information, so they're the ones that get to spoon feed it to them, to the to the general public.
That's a good point you make. Yeah, why?
For the to control the message.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little too much of a PR campaign type of thing. Let's give the public what they want. Let's give the people a little bit of drama. The government is notorious for that. Uh, to cover up what's really going on, to create some drama, to what's the word? To divert people. Such as.
Well, I think it's also to control the narrative too, which I think
Sure.
is, so is that good? Is that bad? I mean, there's a lot of crazy rumors
Yeah,
about
a
it.
lot of possibilities here. Oh, wow. Here's a comment here from Joanna. Did the aliens take out the Russian ship that tried to land on the dark side of the moon a few weeks ago?
Let's take a look.
Yeah. I'm getting a no. What are you getting?
Technical glitch.
Technical glitch, because I got a no on that. So it sounds more like a technical
It's
glitch
their
than.
landing gear.
Yeah, it was. I don't get that it was any kind of deliberate sabotage. You're getting it was a technical glitch. But I thought that was a good question. John's sending you some healing energy if you accept it. I think
Call my doctor. I think I might have to go on antibiotics.
I told you that's what I'm sensing. I mean, you're the doctor. I'm just the
I
assistant.
think you're right.
But it feels bacterial to me. I think that's going to help you to feel a lot better. You always said to me, Western medicine has its place.
Right.
Remember I was poo-pooing it. Oh no, we should all go natural, and and you said no, don't dismiss Western medicine.
Antibiotics. That's right.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if other comments here. You're being sent some healing energy from John. Does anybody have anything they'd like us to do a blitz on specifically?
But what I would say is regarding Russia.
Yeah.
I think that their space program is hurting because they don't have any money. I think it's going to impact the quality of their work.
Absolutely. I mean, the ruble is basically worth toilet paper right now.
They don't have any money.
Yeah.
So what's starting to happen could be that their space program and other programs are starting to take a hit.
Oh, I think so too. I think that's an excellent point you just made.
Mm-hmm. When you go forward, Chuck, into the future, how do you see things working out for Russia? Do you think Russia will eventually be a democracy, or?
Something that comes to mind was Nostradamus, if I remember correctly, predicted that ultimately Russia will be a democracy. Now, I don't know how long that will be. Sometimes you've got to destroy to rebuild. And it sounds like right now Russia is literally being taken to the ground. It's being destroyed right now. And from that rubble, I sense that could be true. Ultimately, it might take decades, but ultimately it could be moving toward democracy. I don't know how the people are going to stand for anything less.
I feel like it's going to be hard because Putin kills anybody who he says there can only be one top dog, and it's like, Anybody that challenges Putin is killed. And so that's kind of destroying. The intellectuals ran away, his competition ran away. I mean, how can this country continue? It's crazy.
It can. I don't see how the universe can support this kind of behavior. It's just like Donald Trump. I kept asking myself, how can the universe support this man's behavior? Well, we're seeing it's not being supported. Oh, here's a comment that's interesting from John. Edgar Casey said that Russia will again be the hope of the world.
Russia will be the hope of the world?
Russia will again become the hope of the world. So that's implying that good is going to come out of this eventually, out of all of this chaos, all of this rubble, all this destruction. But it may be a very long time.
Right. It seems like the most brilliant minds have come from Russia, the most amazing scientists.
Yes,
just...
And look at all the art, the literature, the music, poetry that has come from Russia. I mean, great souls.
Yeah. Well, I am optimistic about it.
I feel optimistic too. I do. What were you going to say?
Oh, I just noticed there were a couple more questions. I see it.
Oh, yes. We have a question here. Do you feel that major upheaval will happen over the many GOP people being taken down from Jack Smith's investigation?
Yeah, let's take a look. That sounds like a really good question.
That's a very good question. Get my pendulum back here. Do you feel that major upheaval will happen? Do you feel that major?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting a maybe to a yes. Like that's a very complex question. It's multi-tiered, and I think that's why my pendulum was kind of going between maybe and yes. But I think it's more of what you're saying. Yes, that's the ultimate thing that's going to come from this.
Yeah, I think that everybody thought that. I think that we all thought that Trump was the target, but Trump is not the target. The target is dark money in DC.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're chasing after. And so, we got Trump today. We'll get somebody else tomorrow, because I think he's a big fish, but he's not the only fish. Three of Swords indicate that there's heartbreak ahead for the GOP. I mean, that's terrible.
But it's still quite a big fish. A former president of the United States, the man who is still unbelievably the front runner for the Republican nomination. I heard that on the news today. My God. My God, there are no words.
Right. And an investigation, Hermit, is over them. What's also interesting, final outcome, Knight of Pentacles, would indicate that it's probably over for the GOP. I refuse to believe that Trump has 50%. I would take that with a grain of salt, because something like 60-something% of Americans want him prosecuted. So how could 60-something% he's guilty? I think they mean 50% of the GOP, but not 50% of the American voter. He's never. People just want you to watch TV. I think they want you to get excited about something. And
exactly. Well, people love drama.
Yeah.
They eat up drama, and they know this. I see a question here. What is happening with Mitch McConnell?
Have they returned back to the Senate? I know they were on break for 3 weeks.
Well, from what I understand, he's returned. And I heard on the news today that his doctor gave him full clearance, saying he did not have a stroke, he did not have a seizure. He's okay to go back to work. I mean, but what do you see, Whimsy?
Let's take a look. I mean, I think that it's how I feel when I go into his energy is a feeling from him and his friends that it is not fair to his constituents if he stays. And that I think that he will make the difficult decision of stepping down. And I think somebody else will complete it for him, because I always feel when I go into this energy, the realization that it's just not fair to my constituents.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll take a dignified exit. So I'm sure he probably has PR people working on it right now, crafting his exit. I just don't see.
Three of Swords.
Yeah.
you know, so it's something that he has a heart condition. No, I think his not good. This is the blood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oshun, the goddess Oshun, the blood red queen, the blood queen. Mars, blood, the blood is being affected, the heart.
Yeah.
Something about a surgery, and you can see 10 of swords, a possible neck surgery, but his health is not good.
Yeah. Do you think it could be a carotid artery in his neck or anything blockage? Why he would have to have surgery? You think that could be blocking blood flow to his brain?
That's really, it's very possible if you're talking about something like a transient ischemic attack, you would want to relax the arteries of the brain. If you've got some constricture, like for example, a person who has angina, you would give something, nitroglycerin, to relax the heart muscles so that they can pump normally.
Yeah, I can't help but think about my late father. The last year of his life, he was in a nursing home in Colorado. And I remember getting a phone call from one of the nurses because my sister was out of town. And they said, well, your father just froze like that, like Mitch. Only my father did it for several hours. He just stared into space, frozen. And then he came out of it and he was okay again. And of course, they never examined him to find out what the reason was, but I couldn't help but think about that when I saw Mitch those 2 times in the video. It kind of haunted me a little. And the Loch Ness Monster.
I thought we would close with this.
I think that's a great thing to close on. Yeah. I understand they're searching for the Loch Ness Monster again.
It looks like something has happened with Nessie. Here's something.
Nessie. I love the name Nessie.
Well, here's
a cat, Nessie.
This is the kind of weird news that I just look for and I gobble up. Yum, 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 yum. So for the month of, I think it's September, is it? They're going to be spending a month examining to see if Nessie is around still. Tell
me more.
There was a recent, according to the story, I wanted to show people the cool picture. This fisherman, I think his daughter took the picture. I wasn't able.
That was taken in 1934, wasn't it?
This was taken in 1934, and they are doing a 1 month long rediscovery at the Loch Ness. But actually, a recent sighting has been released. If you go to like the Daily Mail and stuff, you can see the film footage. But I had trouble uploading it, so maybe we'll do it another time.
I think so. I'm certainly interested to see what comes up, but I mean, they've never found anything. I think they've even taken submarines down there, haven't they? Scuba divers. One of the problems with the waters of the Loch Ness, it's so murky. It's very hard to see anything in front of you underwater there. It's not crystal clear. I don't know. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's a legend.
Do you think some kind of animal is some small group of animals is living in the Loch Ness, or do you think it's just some made up story?
Well, my feeling is what is this? This story's been going on for centuries now,
a long time,
and nothing has ever been found. Nothing has ever been proven. I'm inclined to think it's just an old legend, but there's also that part of me that thinks it would be a lot of fun.
Right.
If it did turn out to be for real. But if you want my opinion, I tend to think it's just folklore, legend.
Oh, well.
I even think of I Love Lucy. Remember the one where Lucy was in Scotland and Fred and Ethel were the 2-headed dragon? I couldn't help but think they were basing that a little on the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
The 2 heads of Fred and Ethel Mertz on it,
Well, I had a lot of fun today. Did you have fun?
Did too. I always have fun with you, Whimsy, and all of our wonderful viewers. I love doing this show.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here as well. If you have not liked and subscribed, it would be a great way to support our channel. Also, be sure and check out all our merch as well as our memberships. We also want to announce that on Wednesday at 6 p.m., that would be tomorrow at 6 p.m., class is starting. If you are a heart-centered remote viewer, hopefully the antibiotics will have kicked in by then.
Oh, I just know that is going to be phenomenal. I would love to do that.
Yeah, it's if you are an elder or an empath, you will be able to access the live lectures. We start class. Yeah, you can join us. A class at 6 p.m. and we look forward to seeing everybody there. It's going to be a great class. It's a 10-week course. We do offer certification so that you can be licensed HCRV teacher. Yeah, we do that too.
That's wonderful. I just know you're going to be wonderful. You know, this woman is such a gifted teacher. If she could take me and have me learn 3rd and 4th year medical school stuff and do it in 7 months, she can teach anybody.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you as well, all at home. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Joel Tilson, who works as the floor director. Thank you to Debbie Brady for all the merch design, for all the hard work. Thank you also to Geocosmic Valentine and everybody else who has volunteered today to help watch the stream. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you. We will see you all next time. Be well, everybody.
Be
Bye.
well. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.